Welcome aboard the JS Izumo, an Izumo-class helicopter destroyer, the largest and the lead ship of the Izumo class of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. You heard right, I said self-defense, because Japan's constitution forbids it from having an armed forces after the Second World War brought the country to its knees. What that means is that Japan cannot have an offensive weapon system like an aircraft carrier, which is, to be honest, what the Izumo looks like, which is why it's been described many ways, such as de facto aircraft carrier, an aircraft carrier in everything but name, or aircraft carrier in disguise. After all, if it looks like and acts like an aircraft carrier, then it must be an aircraft carrier, right? Well, not quite. The Japanese government has a name for it: multi-purpose destroyer, helicopter destroyer, or helicopter carrier. The Izumo's main missions are command and control operations, protection of maritime borders, disaster relief missions, humanitarian aid. Launched in 2013, around the time Japan was having trouble with China over contested territory, commissioned in 2015, and then just a few years ago, modified into a ship capable of operating F-35B fighters that can do short takeoffs and vertical landings, or STOVL. The Izumo is 248 meters long from bow to stern. That's from the front of the boat all the way to the rear. That's equal to 2.5 football fields, or for this basketball crazy nation, this will be easier to understand. Think of it as 8 basketball courts side by side. The Izumo weighs 19,500 tons empty. Fully loaded, it's 27,500 tons. It has a crew of 970, maximum speed 30 knots, 2 large elevators for aircraft, medical facilities, including ICU units. The flight deck has 5 landing spots like this one for helicopters, but the ship can carry anywhere between 9 to 28 choppers. The carrier has 4 close-in weapons systems, like that one over there, but no long-range weapons. The Izumo is here in Manila alongside Australia's Canberra, which you can see over there on the horizon, and the US Navy's America, both of them as amphibious assault ships. The Canberra participated in an air assault exercise off Palawan. This is all happening right smack in the middle of interesting times and mounting tension around the world. China is flexing its military muscle in the West Philippine Sea and the Taiwan Strait, among others. And the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Japan, among others, are not taking all of this sitting down. This is a special episode of your weekly political appointment fix, Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Hontiveros. In this Politics as Usual special episode aboard Japan's biggest self-defense force ship, the JS Izumo, we are honored to be welcomed by the Commander-in-Chief of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, Vice Admiral Saito Akira. Thank you.
Welcome on board.
Vice Admiral. Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming us on board. Can we go this way? Well, Vice Admiral, tell us first why the Izumo is here in Manila and why this deployment synchronized with the visits of the Australian ship, the Canberra, and the US and America. Why is this important and what it hopes to achieve?
The purpose of entering this port is firstly joint QO.
There's crew members, restaurant relaxation.
And the second one is the supply for this ship, fuel, fresh food or something.
Resupply.
Resupply.
Okay.
And the third one is to establish a relationship between our Navy and the Philippine Navy. We have 3 purposes.
Okay. And this is the first time for the Izumo here in Manila?
I'm not sure. I will check.
Okay, all right. But of course, not the first time that there has been a Japanese vessel here.
No, many times.
Many times
because
already.
This is very important port for our security. 南シナ海に面して私たちの海上交通路に接しているのでとても重要な港だと思っております。
So Manila is a very important port because it's facing the South China Sea. It's a waterway which is important in Japan as well.
And of course, given everything that has been happening in the last few months, few years in this part of the world.
とても関心を持てます。質問も重要ですけどご覧になってください。
I'm
This is
very
elevator.
interested in the issues in the South China Sea and also look at the elevator.
Yes, yes. First time for me
yes.
on an aircraft elevator. This is great. This is so great.
This is second 最初にスナク首相がイギリスのスナク首相来られて世界中にで有名な2人目の方です。
So earlier this year, the UK's Prime Minister, Mr. Sunak, visited JS Izumo, and you are the second important person to visit Izumo.
Very famous person.
Well, yeah. Vice Admiral, I hope you don't mind this question because so many people have asked about this. No, is the Izumo what they call an aircraft carrier in disguise, or an aircraft carrier in anything but name, or a de facto aircraft? You know, some people say that, or are people just overreacting to the modifications made to this vessel to allow the F-35Bs to take off and land here?
黄色いラインを見てください。
So please look at the
Yellow line.
Yellow line.
はい、黄色いラインは F-35B をこの船に初めて下ろした時に必要なラインです。
So that was a line we needed the first time the F-35B landed on this aircraft.
1回だけしか降りたことはありま
But
せん。
only one time the F-35B landed on JS Izumo.
その時のデータをもとにこれと同じ型の護衛艦加賀が今回収を行っております。
Based on the data and analysis of that time's landing on JS Izumo by F-35B, now we are modifying another similar ship, JS Kaga.
Cargo. Okay.
今後長期スパンで考えると2隻の船が F-35B を着艦できる能力を有することになります。
So from the long perspective from now on, we the JMSDF is going to operate F-35B on board 2 ships.
Okay, but does that make it an aircraft carrier already? Not quite.
見た目はエアクラフトキャリアに少しは似ているかもしれませんけど我々が護衛艦と呼称しております。
Probably it may looks like aircraft carrier, but we understand that this vessel is a destroyer.
Okay. At the moment, Vice Admiral, would you say that does Japan need an aircraft carrier, given everything that has been happening lately? You know, China's interests in the East China Sea and in the West Philippine Sea, South China Sea. And is this how you are handling China's so-called aggressive behavior?
中国の高圧的な行動については常に懸念を持っております。
We have a great concern over China's proactive aggressions.
同盟国のアメリカ海軍とともに中国の動向を常に監視しております。
So we are now very closely cooperating with the U.S. Navy to pay attention to China's actions in the vicinity of Japan.
Would you say then that Japan does need an aircraft carrier? Eventually, are we going to head in that direction? You think, given the evolving geopolitics?
このような機能を持っている F-35B が着艦できるビークルは必要としております。
So I really need this kind of vessel which enable F-35B landing on and the takeoff.
All right. Vice Admiral Saito Akira, we're going to take a very quick break. We're going to be right back.
Okay, this is bridge. Chair is commanding officer.
Oh, nice.
Vice Admiral chair and this one.
Ah, really? Wow. This one?
HMAS Canberra.
Oh,
over there.
where is it?
Yeah, another one is JS Izumo, Japanese destroyer.
Tell me you're a world power without an armed forces without telling me you're a world power without an armed forces. The answer, the Izumo. Welcome back to this special edition of Politics as Usual on board the JS Izumo. Our guest is Vice Admiral Saito Akira. He is the Commander-in-Chief of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. Vice Admiral Saito, so should China worry about the Izumos? Should China worry about Japan?
ぜひ中国の方にそれを質問してください。私は分かりません。
I'm not sure, so please ask Chinese
Navy
leaders.
guys.
Okay, I will. I'll ask them.
で聞き出したらぜひ教えてください。
And please let me know their answer.
Oh, okay. I'll be sure to get back to you, Vice Admiral. Okay. Well, should the rest of the world, including the Philippines, worry about Japan, or should we welcome this to balance out China?
機会があればマニラ港というのは非常にいい港ですし、スービック港というのは非常にいい港ですので、親善訓練等を通じてまた入港させたいと思っております。
So if we have a more chance, the Port of Manila and Port of Subic are very good port for us. So I want to deploy my ships to Manila or Subic again.
Should we welcome this to balance out China, to have more Japanese vessels? Is this going to be good for the Philippines and the rest of the region, or not to mention the rest of the world, given the evolving geopolitics? Is it going to be, is it going to be something that we will welcome?
午前中に、アメリカの艦隊司令官とフィリピンの艦隊司令官と私と3司令官が懇談を行いました。
So in this morning today, me and the U.S. 7th Fleet Commander and the Philippine Fleet Commander had a meeting.
そしてその際に3カ国がより緊密に協力していこうということで一致しました。
And at the meeting, we three fleet commanders agreed that we would cooperate closely in the future for our security.
いろんな訓練も行うことができるし、いろんな意見交換もできると思いますし、我々の演習にフィリピン海軍の人間をオブザーバーとして参加することも可能だと思っております。
So three countries will have exercises together, and also we will have more opinion exchanges and sharing information, and also the exercises hosted by the JMSDF, we can invite Philippine Navy personnel to participate in our exercise as an observer.
Vice Admiral, your country renounces war in your constitution. What are your thoughts given the evolving geopolitics and China's very prominent role in it? Should there be changes to that? Should Japan be a little bit more, how shall I say it, aggressive, or change? Are you going to change? Should you change things because of geopolitics?
憲法の範囲内、そして法律に認められているところの中でしっかりと防衛力を整備する必要があると思っております。
So I believe that we will have to enhance our defense capability within the scope of our constitution and rules and regulations.
その中でもしっかりとできることはあると思うし、同盟国のアメリカ海軍としっかりとタグを組むこともできると思っております。
So under our present constitution and rules and regulations, we can do many things for our security, and we can also cooperate with the United States for our security.
Okay, so it is possible to stay within the constitution and still be able to respond to what is happening around the world.
はい、
Yes, I believe that we can respond
で
to
はい
issues.
でその中でしっかりとやることが私の使命だと思っております。
And I believe my mission is to enhance our defense capability under the scope of Japanese Constitution.
All right. Vice Admiral Saito, we're going to take another final and quick break. We'll be right back in this special edition of Politics as Usual. She was teaching herself Japanese.
Watch yourself.
We are on board the JS Izumo with the Commander-in-Chief of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, Vice Admiral Saito Akira. Vice Admiral, tell us about the chopper behind us. It is the SH-60K.
主に潜水艦を見つけることを仕事としているヘリコプターです。
So this main purpose of this chopper is to detect the submarines.
とても高価なヘリコプターですので、十分に気をつけながら使用しております。
So this is a very expensive chopper. So we are very careful manner to use this helicopter every time.
Vice Admiral, I wanted to ask you, should our countries, and because earlier you talked about drills, should we have joint maritime patrols? Our country, the Philippines, Japan, and other countries, should we have joint maritime patrols in the West Philippine Sea or anywhere else like the East China Sea?
アメリカの国防大臣がそのような提案をしたということを報道で承知しております。
So I understand in the media coverage that the Secretary of U.S. State suggested such kind of joint patrol among our countries.
とてもいいアイデアだと個人的には思います。どういったことが日本国としてできるかについては政府内で検討しているものと承知しております。
So in my personal opinion, it is a very good idea for joint patrol. So in the future, in Japan, the government should make careful consideration about what we can do in the joint patrol.
A follow-up question, how soon can we have joint maritime patrols? Nobody knows. But you think we should have soon?
とてもいい取り組みだと思いますので、引き続き私も自分のこの立場で日本国内での検討にしっかりと関与していきたいと思っております。
So this is a very good effort and engagement. So in my position as a chief of self-defense fleet, I make a commitment to the consideration of this project, joint patrol.
Okay. What were your thoughts, Vice Admiral, of the China Coast Guard's use of water cannons on Philippine Coast Guard vessels in the first week of August? Can you share that with us?
Yes. 報道で確認しております。とても危険な行為だと思っております。
So I already know about the media coverage of this incident, and I believe that it is a very dangerous act.
中国の高圧的な行動についてはとても大きな懸念を持っております。
And I have great concerns over China's provocative actions.
しかるべき対応をしっかりと検討していく必要があると思います。
So we, the international community, have to think about what we can respond to such a dangerous act.
Vice Admiral Saito, could we get final words from you, sir?
34年 during my 34 years service in JMSDF, this is the first time to visit Philippines. It's very excited to be here. フィリピン海軍との素晴らしい関係を今後構築していきたいと思います。
So from now on, I am eager to establish and promote the very good relations with the Philippine Navy.
Thank you very much.
So we should have more. We should have those joint patrols very soon. Vice Admiral Saito Akira, in-chief of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. Thank you very much, sir, for this interview and for welcoming us on board the JS Izumo.
Thank you very much.
And in our language, we say maraming salamat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this has been a special edition of Politics as Usual on board the JS Izumo. I'm Pia Hontiveros. See you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank you, sir. I should salute you.
Yeah.